Sports Center. Shannon out at the draft that just wrapped up. Shams, what's the next big name that could potentially be on the move?
LaMelo Ball of the Charlotte Hornets. His name is picking up steam around the league. I'm told the Charlotte Hornets are seriously engaged on multiple fronts with interested suitors in Ball. There have been multiple teams that have made aggressive offers this past week, and LaMelo Ball had a strong finish to last season. It really mirrored the Hornets' rise to the play-in tournament. So both sides finished the year in a good place, and my understanding is LaMelo Ball has wanted to be in Charlotte, but the offers are continuing to come in. And if the price is met, we could see potential movement here with LaMelo Ball in the coming days.
I mean, 'tis the season of player movement. We've already seen Giannis be sent to South Beach, Shams, and among the name and the rumors associated in a Giannis pitch was Jaylen Brown of the Celtics. Where do things stand with Brown in Boston, and now any potential moves for him elsewhere?
Phil, so Jaylen Brown was offered for Giannis, and so that's not the end for him in trade rumors. The Boston Celtics are actively in conversations with interested teams in Jaylen Brown, and the sense that I get around the league is that the Celtics are having these discussions with a level of purpose. It doesn't mean that a trade is guaranteed, because Jaylen Brown has 3 years guaranteed left on his deal on a supermax contract, and so finding the right suitor that meets the right price, that could take some time, but that time that it could take, there could be urgency that develops on either side, because clearly it could rub Jaylen Brown the wrong way. This is someone that was the 2024 Finals MVP. He was a finalist for League MVP this past season, and now his name was back offered for Giannis Antetokounmpo. 4 years ago, he was offered for Kevin Durant, and so we should have clarity on Jaylen Brown here over the next few weeks. He is extension eligible if he is with the Celtics in July, so there's going to have to be some level of resolution by then.
Yeah, with not only the season rolling in hot and everybody wanting to get into training camp with their roster set, but also just a psychiatric standpoint, you got to make sure, psychological, I should say, you got to make sure everybody's locked in. Shannon, we appreciate you, sir.
Welcome back to Brooklyn. We're all here for the NBA draft, but we're quickly turning the page to free agency. So let's bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, I understand you have some breaking news.
Malika, we started the night talking about Boston's Jaylen Brown, and another star whose name is picking up steam in the NBA trade market here during draft week as we get closer to free agency is Charlotte's LaMelo Ball. Multiple teams are strongly pursuing LaMelo Ball right now. The Hornets are engaged, I'm told, and Ball had a strong finish to the season. It mirrored the Hornets' rise over the course of the last calendar year. Both sides have been in a good place. Ball does want to be in Charlotte, I'm told, but this is an organization fielding some aggressive offers. So if the price is met, he could very well be on the move. This is a developing story, potentially over the next 24, 48 hours.
24, 48 hours, LaMelo Ball, we could see on the move here. Shams, thank you so much for that insight. We're talking about a player here, Bobby, who has played their entire career with the Charlotte Hornets.
Well, in basically what Charlotte is looking at, they're looking at a player who played 72 games this year. And it's got 3 years left, and is he part of the future, or are we going to capitalize on a really strong year for a Charlotte team, which was one of the best success stories after the second half of the season. Now, the interesting part is we've talked about John Morant, and now we're talking about LaMelo Ball. Two potential point guards out there that are going to be in play.
Yeah, so they're pivoting. The Hornets are looking at an opportunity to pivot. They had been about LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges. They want their future to be about Con Knipple and Brandon Miller. And so whether Ball and Bridges can find a new home to clear out stuff to get those supporting casts is what we're going to find out.
I think it's going to be exciting to see, because I think a lot of the success that you saw from Miller and that you saw from Conman, you got from LaMelo. There's a certain pace, a certain way that he plays. What's even more exciting is wherever he lands, does he continue to bring that, or do we start to see the maturation of LaMelo Ball?
Who tries to go get him?
There's only a couple of teams that need point guards. I'm not gonna get caught speculating at this point. I'll just play this. LaMelo Ball is an incredibly popular player.
Incredibly.
And he pairs well with anybody that's a dunker.
And he's got 3 years left on his contract.
We're going to seamlessly spin off of that to tell you that overall there have been 46 second rounders named to, two All-Star team, 3 second round, 3-1 All-Star Finals MVP. Brunson, of course, Jokic, Dennis Johnson. Jokic is the only one to win an MVP, and Malcolm Brogdon is the only one to win Rookie of the Year.
ESPN NBA front office insider Bobby Marks joins with us now. Exhale, Bobby. We got a second round of the draft in the books, and who knows, might have been a future MVP drafted during a taco commercial. Who's a pick from this second round that you love?
Isaiah Evans to Minnesota at number 33. And here's a player that sat through last night during the first round in the green room and did not get selected here. And we said it during the show. It stings, but you've got to move forward. And I think we're going to Minnesota at pick number 33 for a Timberwolves roster that certainly needs some depth with the guard position here. And I think although he goes in the second round, I think he can get some rotational minutes here. So I really like what Minnesota was able to do. I really like what that Isaiah Evans can put last night behind him and now as an NBA player.
With the depth of this draft, 33 this year might have been what, Trevor? 20 in a previous draft. It would have been a first rounder.
Yeah, now with both rounds behind us.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, with both rounds behind us, Bobby, who drastically improved their roster through this draft that was widely assumed to be incredibly talented?
I thought Memphis did really well. I think when you look at Cameron Boozer, and I thought there was 3 number 1 picks in this year's draft. When you look at Boozer, Peterson, and Bonsa here, and then they go out and trade for Querim Lopez, who played in New Zealand last year, played in Spain before that, and then they go out and get Richie Saunders in the second round, a player that had hurt his knee at BYU and had a first-round grade prior to that injury here. I really like what Memphis was able to do. A team that certainly has gotten a lot younger. And now we wait to see what happens with them this offseason when it comes to Ja Morant.
And Bobby, this offseason is relentless, man. We go straight from the draft to free agency. We want your take on some non-draft news from Wednesday. Sources telling Shams Charania Austin Reeves intends to sign a 4-year, $185 million max contract to return to the Lakers. He got a player option that stretches to 2030. Reeves, as expected, declined a $14.9 million player option to get this contract. Now the richest in NBA history for a player who did not get drafted. I mean, I went to public school and that math makes sense. Here's a shot of Reeves golfing, hearing that the deal's finalized. His girlfriend posted it on her IG. 23.3 points per game last season, 49% shooting. Bobby, Reeves is one of moving parts to figure out in LA this summer. How does locking him in at this number, what does that mean for the rest of the Lakers offseason to-do list?
Well, it doesn't impact their financial flexibility here, and we'll give it a little bit of a cap minutia here. Reeves had a $21 million free agent hold. That basically stays against their books here. They don't have to sign him until the rest of their roster is filled out. So we can pencil them in at $50 million in cap space. And I think, of course, the big decision is going to be with LeBron James. If he returns, what is his salary going to be? And that's going to play a big role as far as how they are going to fill out, how they're going to go out and get a center, how they're going to get some more shooting here. Certainly some depth to this roster here, but James plays a big role as far as what his next contract is with the Lakers here, and as far as what they can do in free agency and potentially in the trades.